Welcome back to more Knuckles Chaotix, and this part is Attraction 4, Techno the Tower.
That's a Techno Deaconary. STC crossover, baby.
This just looks like the underground base underneath Zim's house.
So something I want to bring up, because we haven't talked about it that much yet, is the control. Like, I mean, obviously, like the characters run, they spin dash, everything like Sonic characters. For some reason, like all the characters, I mean, obviously, like at this point, Knuckles is the only character who's in a previous game like this, but like he just feels heavier and more sluggish.
Don't forget
than
Mighty.
in 3 and K.
Yeah.
A lot of the characters feel pretty like heavier, and they feel both heavier and also lighter because of the way they fly around all over the place.
Yeah, it's weird because like on the ground just running, they feel far heavier. But like once you get into the kind of physics momentum of like being like swung around by the rings, they like go way further than Sonic ever could. It's crazy. You'll go far in this town, kid. Have an eternity ring. No, fuck off.
Why is there UPC code on the loading intro thing there?
Oh yeah, why is there a barcode? Like who's scanning the level select screen in this
I wonder if
game?
it actually works if you do scan it.
Ooh.
Man, Sega thinking ahead with AR codes.
It sends you to a website. It's just Yuji Naka sitting in a room, and he looks at the camera and says, "I'm sorry."
A lot more Sonic games need that feature.
It's just Yuji Naka counting money and counting all the Ferraris he's gonna buy with the money from the profits of this game.
No, and then he looks and says,
none?
"At least this isn't Sonic Extreme."
Ooh.
At least this isn't Sonic CD.
Good luck.
Hey, speaking of Sonic Extreme, did you know Sonic Extreme was supposed to be on the Sega Saturn? Do you know what else was supposed to be?
Did you know?
What else was supposed to be on the Sega Saturn? This game, but it's not. That's the end of the
Why is that?
Thanks for coming, everybody. See you next week.
Well,
Actually,
I'm confused
I remember
why the
that now.
32X and the CD were ever released, especially since they came out like a couple years before the Saturn.
well, I mean, the Sega CD kind of makes sense because that came out.
No, it doesn't.
Well, in Japan, it came out in '91. I forget if it came out in the US.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, in the US, it might have been '92, or it might have even been '91. The CD was around for a couple years before Sonic CD came out. That's why,
Sonic.
like the first rumblings of what Sonic CD would be, people thought it was just going to be a port of the original Sonic the Hedgehog because not even 2 was out at the time.
Well, let's see, because I had heard originally, I think I read this maybe on Retro, that the earliest version of Sonic CD was like an enhanced port of Sonic 2 with more features and shit.
Right. Well, I guess when the group at the Sega Technical Institute were like, hey, we're going to make Sonic 2, a Sega CD version was on the table, but it was quickly thrown out. I guess especially when Oshima over in Japan was like, I'm working on a Sonic game, but I don't want to just remake one, and I'm not even working on 2. So I guess at that point, having an enhanced port of either version, or of either 1 or 2, it seemed silly. It wasn't needed because we were getting a fully original Sonic game on the system. Unfortunately, it didn't make the CD successful.
Because the game sucks.
No.
No!
We're now joined by Tails channel for some reason.
What's
going on,
N64
guys?
tried to make
Tails
itself more
channel
powerful too, like with an extra cartridge
The
thing.
64
Yeah.
DD.
Hey, baby, what's up?
But like,
the-
isn't that only compatible
the,
for like 2 games?
and only in Japan, which also, again, the PlayStation started out as a disc add-on to the Super Nintendo.
That's
Y'all were
true.
thinking
I
of the
held
expansion
that.
pack.
I held that in my hands.
Oh,
So
it's
you're the one who
contaminated.
made it.
Well, no, because when I went to MagFest, they had the Nintendo PlayStation prototype there, and the guy who owns it was like, "Hey, do you want to hold it? Take the picture."
That's right, everyone. I saw the Tails Infinite movie. Who wants to touch me?
And then
I
David
said,
said,
who wants to
of
fucking
course.
touch me?
And then the man said, $300, please. Oh.
But he wouldn't let me hold the controller. I guess that was off limits.
So, David, this being on, you said this was originally going to be on the Saturn.
Yes.
How much about that is known? Like, was it going to be the exact same game just on Saturn? Like,
Well, I guess it was. It was supposed to be on the Saturn. It was supposed to have Sonic and Tails. I mean, there's clear evidence about that. You got your chaos, or you got the Crackers, not just the Crackers prototype, but also there are, in one of the prototypes, there's a sprite of Supersonic and Tails in the tornado. And so you can assume that there was going to be a cutscene that introduces them to the world of Crackers / Stadium / Chaotic / what have you. So they were supposed to be in there. It was supposed to be on the Saturn. It was supposed to be probably better, but the powers that be went, hey, we need a game on the 32X. Let's just kill the Saturn version and throw it on here, and we'll take Sonic out because who knows what's gonna happen, right, guys?
Kill a Sonic Saturn game. Like I've heard that before.
Well, right.
Well, see, it's weird though. It's like why? It's weird because why? Because obviously, one of the only Sonic games on the Saturn was a port of 3D Blast. Mm-hmm. So clearly they weren't above ports. Why not just release Knuckles Chaotix on the 32X, then release a Saturn version with Sonic and Tails? You'd instantly get people to double dip if they had both.
I wonder if that was a Sega West versus Sega Japan thing about 3D Blast.
Right, I mean, 3D Blast only happened because Extreme wasn't going to be done.
Yeah, because Extreme,
I know,
they
so
had to release something.
I believe the entire game was made in 7 weeks.
Yeah, because 3D Blast
Something
was
like
designed to be the swan song of the Genesis / Mega Drive British, and
and Japan, you racist fuck.
but yeah,
It's called England.
the 32-bit 3D Blast. That was a last-minute decision. If Extreme had been finished, we would have never gotten the Saturn version of that game. So it's
Or the Saturn special stages. So thank God Extreme died.
right, unless the Extreme special stages had been those, then we would have gotten
Half
both.
pipes. Always with the half pipes.
I gotta love those half pipes.
Well, I mean,
back then-
all the levels in Extreme were half pipes.
Oh,
Very good point, Stefan. Very good point. My man knows.
And besides,
Right.
we're getting a Saturn Sonic game anyway, Sonic Mania.
oh,
True.
that's right. There was
Yeah,
also
Benji knows.
there was that other Saturn Sonic game that didn't come out. It was just called Sonic Saturn, and there's one piece of concept
yeah.
art.
Oh, really? Oh, you know, I just I have never heard about this. What was it? What's the concept of?
I mean, the concept art is I guess because
Sonic with guns murdering people.
No,
This isn't your father's
Was
hedgehog.
that the billiards
the
thing?
concept art is. No, I think the billiards was an idea for the mini game, and I think the billiards thing I feel was sort of tossed about, oh, maybe this could be in Extreme, or maybe this could be in Sonic Saturn, or I think even at one point they were thinking of throwing it into 3D Blast, and then Sonic Team went, no, we're gonna make a half pipe, leave us alone. But yeah, I mean, the concept is kind of oh, look, it's a level with water and there's a bridge. It's not very interesting. There's
I just put it in our group chat by the
oh,
by.
there you go. Yeah, and there's a couple images of hey, of enemies. So I guess that was supposed to be the polygonal Sonic as opposed to the sprite-based Sonic of Extreme. But it didn't get that far. I'm trying to remember who was in charge of it. I guess I could just click the link, but I'm afraid to.
You're afraid
Wait,
to
so-
click on
so was-
retro.
Sure, I know. But so was this before or after Extreme?
I think they were being developed concurrently.
Yeah, because this came out in '95. So
Right, so the idea, because Extreme went through a variety of iterations. There was the original.
I think Extreme has 15 different storylines.
Right.
Feels like it.
Because, it was supposed to be on the Genesis or the 32X. It was supposed to have a story based around the Saturday morning series, Sally, Bunny, Antoine, the whole lot. Then it sort of became closer to what people think of when they think Sonic Extreme. And even that was kind of a cluster. The swears, I don't know. No.
Cluster swears.
The cluster swears. I don't know. I don't know why I'm
cluster
nervous to say it, even though we've already been saying it. He's freaking me out. But then
Dreidel SBO.
right. So the Ophir Allen version was thrown out, and then Christina Coffin, who was working on the boss engine, she was told to expand that into the full game. And even Yasuhara sat down and said, I'm going to work on it for a little bit. But when they realized it wasn't going to be done for Christmas of 96, because they essentially threw everything out, and it was like, oh, this is supposed to be done in 6 months. That's when 3D Blast happened, and that really doesn't tie into Chaotix, but I guess that's why they didn't think to release it twice.
But I forget what was the time difference then between the Mega Drive and Saturn versions of 3D Blast? Like what was it like a year apart, 2 years apart?
Didn't they come out at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh nice. Okay.
Yeah, it might have been days
Saturn,
apart,
yeah, the
if
Saturn
anything.
and Genesis ones came out around this, like in the same year at least.
Okay.
Yeah, because I remember I got the Genesis version when it came out, and then for Christmas of that year, I got the Saturn version. So it was like, I got the same game twice in 1 year.
Ah,
Yeah,
thanks,
so-
Mom.
So, something I want to bring up, because Skylar mentioned it off camera. He was asking us why we didn't hold, and that's because when you're playing 2-player, the hold button doesn't work.
But you can
I'll just
still
throw me
hold
under the bus,
technically
why don't
if you
you?
hold down. If you be still and hold down, that's like a makeshift hold button. It's awkward to use, but it works, I guess.
Why is Mighty so small compared to everyone else? Like it's obviously they just took like Sonic's Genesis sprite
Yeah.
and just
I think that's
fuck
why.
up the bag.
I think that's
Yeah.
why, because they literally just took his Genesis sprite while all the other sprites were remade from the ground up.
It's really because when Mighty's just standing still, he looks the least detailed from everyone.
It's because it's based on what, the Sonic 1, Sonic 2 sprite?
Yeah.
What's going on in the background? What is that pink thing?
It's a party.
It's what those things look like? Those things look like if those like sentient aliens from the Matrix were like going as a clown to a child's birthday party. They're just like brightly painted for no reason.
It looks like a line of spaceships.
And it's also because we're in the clouds, because this is a tower that we're climbing.
Oh, right.
Pretty
I
badly,
forgot. This is
but-
Techno Tower. Like, how high are you going?
As high as they'll let us get. I mean go.
Hey.
We're getting on a neutron. Well, this is a neutrogic high.
Oh, hey, baby. Hey, baby, what your name? What your
Jimmy
high?
Neutron High? What?
Jimmy Neutron High.
Neutrogic.
Jimmy Neutrogic High Zone.
Jimmy
guys-
Neutron's Tragic High.
Having played this, I know how bad the controls, so I can only imagine how hard it is with 2-player. But sometimes this footage is hard to watch. It's like you guys are almost up there, then you both like run the other way for no good reason.
It's because we
and
both-
fall
because we
down.
both try to
this
jump.
game is so bad. This control is so bad.
Because we both try to jump, but then as we jump, we get pulled into different parts of the level, and then we end up flying around and then get pushed back to the end. So that at this point, he's just like, I'm just gonna carry you.
Yeah, I mean, look, guys. I mean, in context of this game, I don't blame either of you for the awkward looking footage. This is 100% the
like the
crappy
whole-
control of this game.
Like the whole thing was, like the whole origin of this was because I knew I wanted to record Knuckles Chaotix, but then I thought, this has a multiplayer. I wonder how terrible this multiplayer is. So I asked Toki, hey, you want to record this mess with me? He's like, sure.
Where
And
is
you
it
made a
taking
mistake.
you?
This is the underground boss from Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Master System.
You're actually kind of right.
No. On the Master System, it's. Look,
Look, it's Sky Sanctuary.
I think what happened was we flew past the boss into a crevice, and the game's like, you're not supposed to be here.
No.
It just took us back to the
And
boss.
this game,
This is-
this
this
game
is-
doesn't have. This is the anti-Dimps game. There's no bottomless pits.
It's the
Thank
It's the
God.
Simpsons movie. We've been don't put over us.
Are the next 8.5 minutes this boss?
No, because since this part was so short, I added in the first level of the next world because
Why?
it's Amazing Arena, and that world took me so much longer.
Amazing Arena sucks.
It's the
That's
worst
fair.
Sonic level ever. I can
It's up
say
there.
that.
It's up there with Wacky Workbench. It's just been fucking terrible.
Think of it like this: The part 5, not counting the first level of Amazing Arena, is still about 30 minutes. That's how terrible that level is.
This was a dumb boss.
It was
Is
like
Eggman dead? Did you kill him?
Mighty's dead. Oh, there he is.
What is it about like the Sonic, the like 2D Sonic games not built for the Mega Drive or Genesis having just fucking shitty bosses? Like both CD and this game have just flat out terrible bosses.
Hey, are you saying you don't like the boss in CD where you run?
You know what? I
And you
will
run
say,
in
I
place?
will say, Quartz Quadrant is the only boss I like, because that boss is so weird. It's just like, okay, fair enough, Eggman.
There's some good bosses. The Palm Tree Panic Zone boss, he looks cool.
That's pathetic.
He looks cool, and then... Oh, okay, so the Collision Chaos boss might be a little odd. But you grabbed a real character this time instead of a fake one.
I found you,
it's
reeler.
because they have like 2 heavies and 2 bombs at once, so it's like
So why did you change characters for every level, and why?
because we want to show them off
Yeah.
as many as we can.
Yeah, but then once you showed off all of them, you could have just stopped.
I edited all the levels in a different order than we actually played it, so
Wow, David, if you're so
didn't know.
picky,
Right.
why didn't you offer to record her?
Because I told you I'm using a next book.
Who
It's
wants
not
to help
even-
me milk my cat?
I don't know. I could play.
Oh,
I could play Chaotix on my parents' old compact Presario when it was on GameTap.
I thought you were gonna say you could play it on your parents' Commodore 64.
Well, that too. Speaking of
Oh, you
which,
found it.
did you guys ever play this on GameTap?
No,
Nope.
what's Game Tap?
What the hell is Game Tap?
It was kind of like PlayStation Now. It was some subscription service where you could stream games, and I don't remember using it apart from for Chaotix. So I would play it in my little real player.
Wait, what?
Stefan.
I don't know why we stood there.
Good job.
Because you realize the futility of your existence.
I was like, oh shit.
This is when Vector started thinking, wait, maybe there is no maybe there is no miracle here.
But yeah, actually, that's the only quote-unquote official way I've played Chaotix.
I remember why we stood there. We were contemplating whether to show off the Metasonic thing or not, and we decided not to.
Oh yeah, because this was the second level this was the second level we played.
What?
And then it was like, oh no, let's wait for Botanic Base 2 to show it
That
off.
doesn't explain anything, Stefan. What?
I don't.
The Silver Sonic from Sonic 2 on the Game Gear?
No,
Is that what he's talking
the
about?
Silver Sonic from Sonic 2 on the Mega Drive. That's the Silver Sonic commission I'd like you to draw, please.
How about the Silver Sonic from the Sonic Dimensions that's called Robo-Sonic for some reason?
How about we already made this joke 2 parts ago? Why are we doing it again?
Because Scott,
Are you
Scott,
serious?
this
Callback.
Scott, this is FTCR. All we have is 2 jokes that we just run into the fucking ground.
Oh,
I
chicken!
love ground.
So there's actually another sad Sega Game Tap story. You know how the Panzer Dragoon saga, or in some Panzer Dragoon game, the source code is lost? Mm-hmm. Well, Game Tap had it at a point. So even if Sega didn't have it, they could have been like, hey, Game Tap, help. But
And then Game Tap were like, no,
they
I
don't
just
have it either. They
purposely
lost
burnt it.
So that game is
How
lost in
did Game
time.
Tap lose it? How did?
I guess when it shut down, they were just like, well, we probably don't need this anymore. Throw it out a window, right?
And then they started
Oh,
Gamergate.
bunny.
Oh,
Fuck.
So we couldn't find where we were supposed to go.
there's a swear. It's saying fuck.
It's different if you show the word,
We
David.
couldn't find where we were supposed to go, so we spent like a good 3 or 4 minutes going in a circle.
This
this
is
level
why
is
I hate
terribly
this
designed.
level, dude. This level's fucking terrible.
So what you're saying is like we should speed run this game.
Where's Mexi when you need him?
Oh man, that's so many rings.
Oh, I like how Mighty's just like. I love a wall kick in high speed.
Can we fast forward our commentary too?
And then
Why
I
you
says to
doing this?
Mabel, I says,
Oh, you're doing so bad. You've got -3 rings now.
Yep.
there's
Naganuva's going to sue us for this.
I'm not in Sega anymore. Quit putting my music on Sonic games.
No, it's original because
Oh.
this is Nightcore.
Oh. See, I'd like to think that you haven't actually found the way out and you're just stopping for comedic effect.
I will say, I fucking love whenever Vector runs. For no reason, he just mugs to the camera. Look at me, I'm a crocodile running real fast.
Now with headphones.
Have you ever seen such a
Hey
thing?
guys, my...
Is this the level where Vector realizes he's lost without God?
That's why he keeps looking to the camera. He thinks we're God. God, please help me. Where am I supposed to
Oh my god,
go?
he's giant.
Knuckles Chaotix is one giant God complex.
you have the Father, the Son, the Grandson, the Great-Grandson, the Great-Great-Grandson, and the Holy Spirit.
The Father, the Son, and the Holy Crocodile.
The Holy Vector Man.
So when Vector was big, even though he's not on screen
He's
right
not
now.
big. He's Vector.
Does,
You should know this,
does
David.
does he think that maybe he is God? Because he's like, I have achieved godhood because I am bigger than everyone now.
David, is Vector the ultimate life form?
Can Vector turn Super Saiyan God?
He's not the ultimate life form, he is the ultimate
At least according to Amy Rose.
Amy!
I'd love it if like Vector and Amy got drunk and then after they woke up the next day, Vector just goes, "Who's this broad?" I believe Sky or Chris, you would know this. I believe, like, obviously Knuckles Chaotix, the franchise as a whole kind of ignored this game. I think with two exceptions. Advanced 3 kind of took the kind of two character idea, but obviously didn't tie it down to the stupid ring. But in it doesn't Sonic Mania use the notion of the rings coming out the screen like in Chaotix?
Yeah, and it also
yeah,
has
the
the blue ring
ring.
box too.
The combi ring, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
And that's
combi.
COMBI, not COMMIE, I should say.
Why is this the only level with a mini boss?
And this boss is fucking terrible.
And you don't even have to
Oh, you're
win.
running
You
out of
don't even have to
time.
win.
Are you gonna die? It looks like you're gonna die. I sense death. You should die.
Sure.
You should
Please
die.
die. Why aren't you dying? Ah,
Time up.
great boss. You don't have to beat it.
Oh, great. I was worried you'd have to try for a second there.
Don't you just get
That is
rings
one
if
of
you
the-
beat it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you get like 10,000.
Yeah, you get like 40 rings. Yeah, you
Maybe
get
not.
40 rings.
Oh, that's not worth
But you
it.
found 10. It is one of those odd things. Like, why is there a mini boss? Why does he not give you anything except rings? Why is it only
Well,
here?
Why is it in the
that's
middle
the
of the
question of
level?
this game. Why?
Well, this game definitely feels like they were halfway done, and Sega said, "Oh, we just released it," and the development team went, "What?"
I'd fucking love it. Like, no one told the developers it's actually out in stores. So today we're gonna finish debugging levels 5 through 6. Don't worry about it. Game's already out. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
No, they were working on it for like a month, and then they said, "Oh yeah, the game's already out."
The game's been out since Christmas, you fools. We're not paying you for anything for the last 6 months.
Oh.
What?
That's how I feel Big's Big Fishing Adventure 3 is gonna go.
Yeah, wasn't that supposed to come out like 2 years ago?
You said it was supposed to be spring 2017.
I thought it was supposed to be Christmas 2016.
Hashtag believe.
Hashtag big games take big time.
Points. David, points for that.